So you want to learn how to combo like the best of them with Kazuya? Don't worry, I got you. In this video, I'm not just going to give you combos and leave you to figure out which ones to use. Instead, I'm going to give you one combo for all of Kazuya's main launchers, with slight variations depending on how far you are from the wall. Let's not waste any time, let's go ahead and get right into it. So the electric combo that I use is going to be at the bottom of the screen right now. I'm going to talk a little bit before I actually show it, so if you're curious on, testing the combo while I'm talking, go for it. But I do want to preface that, as you can see, the combo does require 2 electrics. So if you do not know how to electric right, or your electrics aren't fully consistent, I will possibly consider making a guide on it. However, I'm not too keen on doing that right now since there's already a lot of places to learn electric, and it's really not too hard once you kind of put your mind to it. So for most of this guide, it's going to assume that you know how to electric. Outside of that, there's not going to be anything else that you're going to really need. That's going to be super, super difficult. So now that you've gotten the explanation and you've seen the notations of the move, I'll go ahead and show you the combo now. So that is more or less the staple. It's a great mixture of damage and getting your opponent to the wall. It has pretty good wall carry. The damage is crazy because obviously it ends with down forward, 3 plus forward, 1, 2, 2. So it's going to be a lot of damage. Anything that ends with that is going to be a lot of damage. As you can see, there is the glowing walls behind me, and I got to the wall. You can break those, and I will show you an example of what I like to use, but I wanted to give you first an example staple that you can use on pretty much anything. Now, let's say the wall is a little farther than you would like it to be, you're not going to be able to make it, or you're not really too sure you can make it. There's a couple of different things that you can do if you're even on an infinite and you don't have a wall, you don't think you're going to make it, or otherwise you just need to end your combo without a wall involved. Let me show you a couple of ideas. There's not really ever one correct always answer. I kind of like to go in between all of these and try a bunch of different things with these combo enders, but it's completely up to you, whatever's most comfortable with you, whatever you enjoy the most, and whatever's the most fun, because that's realistically what the most important part is if the combos work and they're accurate and they look good, go ahead, use it, because almost all of these combos only differentiate by literally just a couple of points of damage, and it's really not that big of a deal. If you want the most optimal, I'll be giving you what I can find, but I also will give you other different choices you can. If you feel like you're just barely out of range of the wall, like just slightly out of range, ending your combo with 2-2-1+2, you can actually get a wall splat and sometimes get forward 2 off of it. Obviously, damage isn't specific, it was more so just to show you that you can get that out of ending with 2-2-1+2. The rest of the combo obviously would be completely different, more optimized. That's just something that you can do, and it works for any combo that pretty much ends in the tornado. Or not as well. Again, if you don't want to use your tornado, you don't have to with this move either. There is another example about how if there was a breakable wall behind me there, forward 2 definitely would have broken the wall, so I would have been able to continue and get more without using my tornado. Still, it's not always going to be super useful, but it is really nice being able to know that that does do a very small wall splat that can allow you to extend combos without using your tornado, because I feel like a lot of people are using tornadoes super early, and sometimes you do want to save that. Now, let's say the wall is absolutely nowhere in sight, and there's no chance that you're going to be getting anywhere near the wall, and you just need to be able to get damage as quick as possible on the ground. Really, there's 2 different options after your normal staple combo. You could go for forward 4, and the reason as to why we want to do forward 4 is because it is technically a mix-up. After forward 4 is guaranteed in every situation except for a couple of them. One of them being holding up the entire time to get up. I think that's just about the only time. There might be a couple of times some other moves might beat you out because of timing, so just know that if they are mashing a button, you will have to be pretty quickly. But this does pretty much beat any sort of tech rolling, and a lot of the get-up attacks will counter hit, and you'll be able to pick up from it. If your opponent does know about the forward 4 into forward 4 technique, it does become a 50-50 because afterwards, once you flick them down, you can get a hell sweep out of it. And the second that they start blocking that instead, you can go for something like forward 3. It isn't true damage because none of it is guaranteed, and your opponent can technically block all of the options and beat it, but it plays into Kazuya's biggest strengths, his 50-50 vortex and his very scary counter hit tools and hell sweep. So because of that, I feel like it is at least worth mentioning that, because I have used this a lot of times and messed up a lot of people and continued my pressure off of a combo that I absolutely would not have before. Now, if you are looking for guaranteed damage, there are 2 different options that you have, one for using Heat Burst and not using Heat Burst. Without using Heat Burst, it would look literally something like just do 2-2-1+2, and it knocks them far away, and if you got the combo off before them and you have the health lead, you've now completely reset neutral and have the entire screen to either go in, play neutral, or just play back if time allows you to, depending on how your opponent reacts to it. This is also a very useful technique if your opponent is very linear about how they approach, or their character just has very not good approach tools. Now, if you want to end the combo with Heat Burst, there's a completely different option that you can use as well. You can pop Heat instead, go for the same thing, or you could do 3-1 into Crouch Dash into 3 again. It is very important to note though, sometimes after doing Heat Burst, they're too far away to where it just won't hit. It'll go in between their legs. So sometimes you will have to do a little bit of a mini dash or get really close before the Heat Burst pops. Now though, I want to talk a little bit about down forward 1-4 and how you can use it sometimes instead of down forward 1, down forward 2. Now in some very certain situations, sometimes you want to be able to make it to the wall and break the wall without using any bound. This is where down forward 1-4 would come in. And now because I was able to get him to the wall, if that was a breakable wall, down forward 1-4 would have broken the wall, and it doesn't use a bound. You can also use the exact same thing if you're a little farther away to use down forward 1-4 to prop them back up onto the wall, so you can use down forward 1, down forward 2 to get the bound on the wall to add even more damage. Obviously, the middle part of the combo didn't actually matter. I just filled it in with jabs so I could get it close to the wall, but that roughly gives you an idea of what you can do and how you can extend your combos even farther and get more damage without using the bound. Sometimes it's good to use bound, sometimes it's not. If you're already close to the wall and you think you can make it without it, down forward 1-4 is a fantastic option to get your opponent to the wall. So now that I've properly explained the enders that you'll be seeing for the rest of these combos, let me go ahead and get into the rest of these staple combos here. Next, we're going to cover two different types of combo starters and the best routes that I found for them, both while rising 1-2 or twin pistons, and also down 1+2 because it's such a great option. For down 1+2, you'll see down below as well, I'll have the combo down here. It's a very, very, very simple combo and is not hard to do in any way whatsoever. And it's very, very similar to what we've been doing the past couple of times with our electric combos, so it shouldn't be anything too confusing. Realistically, getting the while rising mashing 1+2 is the only thing that would be considered difficult, and really, you can just mash it. If you watch my buttons here on the side, you can see that I'm just mashing 1+2, and it'll still come out. Like, you mash it, and it'll come out. Because even if they block it, as you can see, I can still spam it a handful of times, and it won't come out. It's only those last couple of spams that actually come through. So you can still spam 1+2 and just continue spamming if you see that they're not ducking. After while rising 1+2, it's super easy, and the rest of it is literally just back 2-2 and then down forward 1, down forward 2, and whatever ender that you want to choose from based on what I've already taught already. Now for twin pistons, the best combo that I've been able to find so far is down below notated and looks like this. I opt for back 2-2, 1+2 because it does more damage than if you would just do down forward 1, down forward 2. But if you're close enough to wall, obviously instead of doing the back 2-2, you can counter it for down forward 1, down forward 2, and do the rest of the wall combos. That's the really good thing about Kazuya's combos, and the simplest part about it is 9 times out of 10, if you can get a back 2-2 or a down forward 1, down forward 2, you can interchange them very loosely based on what you want to do. So next day post-editing Avrix here, realizing that I completely forgot to add a forward 3 combo in here, so I'll go ahead and give you a really quick one that's super easy, and then explain why I use it and why you probably shouldn't use anything else. So usually after doing forward 3, I would do down forward 3 as well with a knee, but the problem with that is if you hit it like kind of like over here, like in this like tipper range, it misses, right? You're not able to hit it. But there's a way to where even if in this tipper range, if you do a sidestep, instant sidestep 3, you can get that always. It'll always pick up even at like tipper range no matter what, if I don't miss it from timing. I'll go ahead and put the notations down on the screen right now and show you what the combo looks like. And then obviously, like everything else, the enders can always be changed. That was just an ender that I did here because that's what worked on this stage. But again, you can change out down forward 1-4 for down forward 1, down forward 2 if you really wanted to, or do any sort of oki ending that you really want. That's just what I think is the best personally, and that's what I've been using. And like I said, I just kind of interchange down forward 1, 4 with down forward 1, down forward 2 whenever I just kind of feel like it's best to use it. So I wanted to take a moment and talk a little bit about down forward 2 and the counter punishes for it, because obviously perfect electric is what everybody wants to be going for, right? That's what a lot of people have known for a very long time to be the best. But I don't know. I don't really like doing this, honestly. I think in an online situation, there's just too much variables, right? Because right now, even I'm not hitting it enough to where... Come on now. Hold on. There. Like, even I'm not hitting it enough in offline mode to be able to say, hey, you know, maybe I should, like, consider doing this in online, because there's always going to be someone with a horrible connection, or, you know, something might drop. Even if the connection is amazing, there's always going to be, like, little small problems with it. So, for me, personally, I never think that it's worth it to go on online. And maybe if you're an offline player, and you want to get really consistent with this, you totally could. Because it's a really, really, really great avenue to be able to get great damage out. The main biggest problem with it is just obviously how difficult it is, and you know, you not only do you have to rely on your execution being like at the top of the game, you also have to be able to rely on your opponent's internet to be decent enough to be able to hit it. I don't usually even go for these in online ranked, because I just think that ranked alone, even trying to do a regular electric, let alone a perfect electric, just doesn't feel good at all. But, I mean, you can get consistent at it, truly. I definitely don't think that it's one of those things to where it's going to be super hard to get, like, consistent with. I think it definitely is possible to get, like, really, really consistent with these. Like, even as I sit here talking and I'm practicing, right? Another reason I really don't think that going for, you know, perfect electric after down forward 2 and online is just really not worth it, is because before in Tekken 7, there used to be still a decent combo that you could have done. If you got down forward 2 and you missed your electric but still got one, you could do back 2-1, right? And you can see that 2-2, back 2-2 hits. However, the problem with it is even though it hits, you can't get down forward 1 off of it. And there's no way to, like, deep dash it, right? So, because it just doesn't recover quick enough. So, the only thing that you could realistically do is, like... And even that, like, still drops. So it's like, I don't really think that outside of, like, multiple deep dash electrics, there's really anything to do. And that is, like, a whole nother thing. So you either have to be ready in a frame-perfect instance to hit that frame-perfect electric and do your combo, and know instantly that if you miss that, to instantly start going for a completely different, also extremely difficult technique. And I just don't think that it's very worth it. And it's just really not worth it when you can do something a lot easier, like this. And because a lot of Kazuya's damage comes from the wall, you can still get something that's like 78 damage, and that was literally me just like throwing together a bunch of moves. Like, there's a lot of things that you can get that are still very damaging as long as you get to the wall. So really, when it comes to combo game with Kazuya, your main goal is going to be get to wall, right? Get to wall is the best thing that you're going to want to do. And I've talked about that a little bit already in the video, but I just want to preface that, you know, electrics are cool and being able to do all this kind of stuff, but the main thing that you want to be doing is getting your ass to the wall. Because outside of even these, the combos are still going to be very damaging. So it doesn't really matter what you start with, whether you're doing this on counter hit, whether you're doing twin pistons, whether you're doing electric, whether it doesn't really matter. The main goal for everything is to get to the wall so you can either A, break the wall, or B, get this combo. Down forward 3+4, I think 1-2, yeah. Or 1-2-2. But yeah, there's a little bit of an interruption to the video. I wanted to talk about that a little bit because I knew that somebody was going to bring that up. I don't think that down forward 2 into perfect electric is something that I'm going to practice regularly. I sometimes do it in offline, but online there's just too many variables. I just don't think it's a good idea. Yeah, here's the rest of the combos. Now, before the video ends, I did want to go over a couple of really important things when it comes to breaking walls and heat extension combos. Doing the exact same combo over and over again, I figured out which was the best wall break ender and which was the best heat burst ender as well. Breaking the wall with down forward 1-4 gave me 64 damage. Using forward 3 gave me 63 damage. Down forward 3-2-1 gave me 68 damage. Hell Sweep actually gave me 67 damage, and back 4 gave me 63 damage. So that would leave the top 3 in damage being first place down forward 3-2-1, second place Hell Sweep, and third place down forward 1-4. I'm unsure how reliable Hell Sweep is going to be as a wall ender, as I'm going to be honest, I accidentally found out about it while I was recording this video and haven't had too much time to play around with it in a real match, so if you want to try it out, go ahead, let me know down below in the comment section if it does work consistently. And for down forward 3-2-1, even though it does give you 68 damage, which was the most by a large margin outside of Hell Sweep, if you are trying to save your bound or tornado effect for later on after the wall break or floor break combo or whatever you're using, down forward 3-2-1 does technically bound at the wall and will do that effect at the wall before it breaks it or bursts the wall. So if you haven't used your tornado effect yet, you kind of waste it doing down forward 3-2-1 at the wall if it's breaking it. So what I've decided is down forward 1-4 currently is the best one to use overall if you want to save your bound, and down forward 3-2-1 is the best if you have already used your tornado effect / bound and you just want the maximum damage. Now that we know what the most damaging wall break combos are, let's go ahead and see what the best ways to end Heat Burst is. I could go ahead and tell you right now every single option that I went through, because I went through all of the Heat Burst options, but to keep this video concise, and because there's no caveats like the other ones where bound and other effects happen, the best one overall is down forward 1-2. Not to be mistaken with down forward 1, down forward 2, but just regular down forward 1-2 and then holding forward for the burst. That gives you the best Oki situation and the best way to get damage afterwards. Same thing with the last time, the moves that you can do after Heat Burst, there's only a couple and it's usually using the same moves. You don't really want to use different ones because there's kind of 2 that are better than the rest of them, and I'll explain that now. After we do our Heat Burst, if we do up forward 3, not up back or the up version, because you have to go forward or else it won't reach, up forward 3 does the most damage of any of the combo enders. However, I do want to mention up forward 4-4-4 because it has a really interesting property of picking your opponent back up for a true combo and floating. It does only 1 damage less than up forward 3, and the craziest part is while you can't pick it up in the open, if you're closer to a wall at the Heat Burst and you need a little bit more, that can carry and wall splat onto the next wall so you can continue your combo even more. And it's only 1 less damage, so why not go for it and try it? I'm unsure of how useful it'll be and how consistent it is, as I also found this out just from experimenting, but up forward 3 is more often than not going to be your best choice unless you really want to go crazy for a combo video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you learned something new or learned combos that you'll be able to carry into your ranked games. If you guys learned anything new, go ahead and leave down in the comment section down below what you learned from this video, and I can talk to you guys about that. Is there anything else that you're still curious as well? Any questions I'm more than happy to answer. Or if there's any topics as well about Kazuya that might be confusing, maybe the neutral game. Anything you guys might be struggling with Kazuya, I'm more than happy to cover in a video. Obviously, I just didn't want to make one giant 1 hour long guide because that's how long I feel like it would need to be if it was the entire full definitive guide for this character. And I was having fun with combos. I wanted to show you guys what I thought about my combos since there wasn't really any definitive, very clear explanation for Kazuya combos, I felt. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate the support. We're so close to 900, so if we can hit that this video, that'd be absolutely insane. I'm trying to hit 1,000 before the summer ends. But until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.